Yep. What's going on, guys? So we have got our upgrade number 2 for my Wizard X220. And probably the most important upgrade, guys, that you can do, honestly, is your eye in the sky, your camera. And like I said in my previous videos, you know, I am not happy with the stock camera. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research, and RunCam seems to be a very good choice for racing drones. So I wanted to get something that I could basically plug and play, put into the drone, and really not have to mess around with any of the settings or anything like that. So I went ahead and got the RunCam Rotor Riot Edition. So if you don't know who Rotor Riot is, check them out on YouTube. They are a bunch of skilled racing pilots, and they really do really good good videos, and they have a lot of fun. Now you got to be careful, guys, because there is a lot of fakes out here. You know, people will copy just about anything and try to sell you something to make money. So I actually bought this on eBay from RunCam. It is actually RunCam vendor. I bought it on eBay, and as you can see right here, there's a sticker, and all you had to do was scratch off this little white barcode, and there's a number right there. And if you go online to runcam.com /verify, type in that number, it will tell you if you have an authentic RunCam or not. I went ahead and typed it in, and it came back that this is in fact a legitimate non-fake RunCam Rotor Riot Edition. So let's get into it, guys. Let's open this up, and here's some specifications here. You can see it's the RunCam Swift Rotor Riot. It does have a 115-degree horizontal field of view. It is IR blocked, so that means when you look directly at the sun, you won't see that black dot that sometimes you can see when you're looking at the sun. So it also has a nice little RunCam sticker right here. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. The Rotor Riot Edition. I like that. Also like the little symbol it has on there. It's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get this baby opened up here. If I can get the sticker off. Alright, guys, got the sticker off. Let's go ahead and open this baby up and see what you get in the box. So open up the box. You will find need help, contact us here at RunCam. Has all their information there, Facebook page, phone number, email, online chat. That's great. So shop with confidence, 30-day money-back guarantee. So that's awesome. Here is our RunCam Swift directions. You can see it has all the specifications, all the menu information, which we're really not even going to need, because that's a big perk of buying the Rotor Riot Edition, is you don't really have to mess with any of that. It's already set up to what the Rotor Riot team feels is the best settings for a camera on a racing drone. But anyway, they give you the instructions anyway in case you do want to tweak anything or change anything. And yeah, so that's pretty good. Tells you how to hook it up to a transmitter and all that good stuff, how to hook it up to a monitor if you want to change any of the settings. So nice to have that there. And here we are, guys, the main event here, the RunCam Swift Rotor Riot Edition. So it's kind of tucked in here. See if we can get this tucked back out of here. So if you don't already know, another feature of this camera is the lens. It's really not as special now as it used to be, because a lot of these aftermarket cameras, you can change the lenses on them. However, when this first came out, take this little cover off, this was the first camera that had a GoPro style lens. And there it is right there, guys. That's the GoPro style lens. So it's going to give you that nice wide angle, so it's going to make it a lot easier to fly. And there's a little Rotor Riot little symbol on there, which I really thought that was cool. Just makes it different, you know, makes it look more like custom, which I like. But here we have our connections in the back, so that's nice. So yeah, it's very lightweight. You know, like I said, it does have that GoPro style lens, which is nice as well. So we'll go ahead and put the cover back on that guy, keep it nice and safe. Put it off to the side, and let's dig in here a little deeper. So you do get quite a bit of foam here, which is actually some really nice foam. Might be able to use this for other things. It's actually really nice. Interesting. Maybe for a battery pad or something. And a little bit further down in here, you'll see we got more bags of goodies in here. So this bag here is going to give you some additional brackets, which we're not going to need in the Wizard, but they do give you additional brackets if you're mounting this onto something that does not have any kind of brackets whatsoever. It gives you bracket right here to mount. Also gives you another back plate that you can use when hooking up to a different style bracket. That's what you get in this package here. You also get a package of screws and some nuts and bolts. We're just going to need some screws out of here. 2 screws to mount the camera to my drone. Alright, digging in here a little bit further, and that's the rest of it. Here is your AV plugs and your power cord that you can solder you know, up to your drone or your racing drone. As you can see here, this actually is a little selector switch for the OSD, which is the on-screen display. So you can actually hook this up to the camera, plug this in to your TV, and you can actually change the settings on the camera through your TV just using this little selector switch here. So you can see it says up, down, right, left. That's how you can kind of navigate the menu. But like I said before, you know, not that this is hard, but it's kind of a pain. Like, you know, you buy a camera, you have to hook all this up, you know, to get your settings and tweak it, and you don't know what it's going to look like in the house versus out of the house. To me, it just seems to be a bit of a pain. So we're not even going to worry about that, because that's why we bought the Rotor Riot Edition, which already has all the settings from the factory that the Rotor Riot team did research on, and constant, you know, tweaking and just constant research to get the best possible settings out of this camera. That was the big reason why I wanted this camera. Not to mention, I did want the GoPro style lens with the wide angle lens, but that is the reason that I wanted to go with the Rotor Riot. So this bag right here, toss it to the side. Not going to need it. Alright guys, so here's the stock camera here, and we'll show a little bit of footage flying through the house and going from inside to outside. Obviously not going to be able to do any flying today. It's downpouring, but we're going to try to do the best comparison of these two cameras as we can. So here's the footage right here. Alright guys, so we're getting ready to install our new camera. And I apologize about the lighting. I don't have very good lighting today. It's kind of overcast, so use the flash on my phone. Should be sufficient. So what you're going to want to do, guys, is obviously make sure you don't have any power plugged in. And we're going to go ahead and loosen this screw right in the front here. Go ahead and loosen this up. Got that loose. Okay. We'll loosen that screw there. So we're going to take these two screws out. Set them in our little dish here so we don't lose them. Take that screw out as well. And now there's two more screws back here that are going to inhibit us from getting to that camera. So we're going to go ahead and loosen them up. Alright guys, so ran into a little problem here. This screw that was in there, you can see where I scratched up my frame a little bit trying to get it out. The head had stripped. Basically, I've taken this cover on and off, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times now, and I guess, you know, from the constant turning it, tightening it, and loosening it, the screw head stripped out. So I brought out all these tools trying to get something to to get that screw out. And basically, guys, what I ended up having to do, I couldn't get any of these tools to loosen the screw. I ended up using these guys right here, and I latched onto it and loosened it out of the frame like that. So that screw is going to get thrown in the trash. Luckily, they give you a bag of spare screws, so we'll put a brand new one in there. But keep that in mind, guys, when you're tightening stuff down. You know, careful to get the right size Allen key for the job, and just be careful not to over tighten, because then you may run a chance of stripping it out. Alright guys, so now we've got our 4 screws out here, 2 in the rear, 2 in the front here. So now we should be able to lift up on this just like that, and now we can pull the camera right out. Just be careful because there's a wire that is attached, okay? But they do give you some slack. Go up and above these screws like so. And right here, this plug right here is the one that we are going to carefully unplug. Try with my fingers again. Don't want to tear it up. There we go. So now we've got it unplugged, guys. So now our camera, our stock camera, is out. We can go ahead and take these 2 screws off here and get away with the stock camera. So as you can see on the left here, let me try to poke this out for you. On the left here are the stock screws from the original camera, and I got a magnetic bit there. And on the right here, are the screws for the new run cam. And as you can see, if I scroll down here, get this thing to focus, you can see that those screws are a little bit longer, so they're going to give us a little bit more of a secure bite on that new run cam. And here you can see the run cam next to the stock camera, and you can see the run cam does, the lens does come out a little bit further, so it's a little bit taller, but well worth the little bit of larger lens there. Well worth it. So this stock camera is pretty awful, actually. So you're probably wondering at this point, why haven't I taken apart the entire top? Because aren't I going to need to solder the new run cam wires to the flight controller? And the answer is no. That would be negative. All thanks to GraysonHobby.com, and I'll leave a link down in the description for this wonderful conversion cable. But the guys at Grayson Hobby, they have a YouTube channel as well, have come up with this wonderful adapter here that prevents you from having to solder any kind of a run cam to your Wizard. So basically, this connector here, the stock Wizard connector, is a 3-pin. I believe it's a Molex, but as you can see, that is the female version that's going to connect to this version, and this is a connector that connects to the actual run cam. So they're 2 different style connectors, but with this adapter we do not have to worry about soldering. So we'll simply plug this end into the stock cable here that went into our original camera, and then this end here will plug directly into the back of the run cam. The only sacrifice that you make by hooking it up this way is you don't get audio from the camera, which I don't need audio when I'm flying FPV really anyway. So that's the only sacrifice that you're getting. You're not going to have any audio from the camera, because the camera itself does have audio capability. But to me, it's well worth the sacrifice not having to take this thing completely apart and do a bunch of soldering. So we went ahead and plugged the adapter in to the stock Wizard plug and back into the back of the Rotor Riot. Plugged right in. Everything worked great. So now, before I put everything back together, I would like to do a check just to make sure we've got power to our camera. So we're going to go ahead and plug our battery in, turn our goggles on, and see if we pick up FPV. Got our camera hooked up here temporarily just to do a check, and we're going to check these goggles out here. This is what your camera is going to look like when you hook up a new camera if you have the eSheen VRD2 goggles. Okay, I've already calibrated the RSSI, scanned all the channels, and this was what I got. So you have to change the setting in the goggles. So you're going to go to menu. You're going to go to camera. You're going to select NTSC. Once you select that, boom, you will have an absolute crystal clear, perfect picture. So just want to let you guys know about that. Trying to share my experiences with this whole process with you. And wow, what a difference. Look how wide the angle of that lens is, and it's so much clearer. The colors are better, just a lot better. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and put the Wizard back together with the new camera, and we're going to take a quick little walk around and do a comparison on the actual video quality. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so as you can see, this camera is quite amazing and way better than the stock camera. I just can't believe how much wider the angle is. You can see so much more. It's going to make flying that much more interesting and easy. And we got everything installed back in there. Got the angle where I wanted it. So basically, when it's sitting on the ground, you can just barely see the ground. That's where I wanted it. That way, if it is flying level, you can still see the ground. And once you got your angle that you want, you just tighten those 2 screws up. It tightened right down, unlike the stock camera, and it's got no movement. It is locked into place. So there's our upgrade number 2, guys, the Rotor Riot Runcam Swift. And we got more upgrades to come. Stay tuned. E-Drone out.